Swap hands here. Just doing my little walk-a-do, a little walkabout. Impromptu live feed. Beautiful day. For those of you on the replay, look at that. It doesn't get any better than that. Look at that sky. It's beautiful. What's up, bad dog? Feel right? Beautiful day to be out and about, man. Beautiful day to be out and about. You got the ducks. Everyone's having a good time. Yeah. What's up, people life? Just getting some park time in. Getting some steps in. Feeling good. Feeling strong. And I'm also dodging goose shit here on the sidewalk. And of course, gotta have the coffee. Well, thanks, man. Trying. Now everyone thinks I didn't put any work into this, but they're not out here exercising with me. They're not out here trying to eat right, you know. But it doesn't just happen by itself. It takes work and a bit of dedication. But whatever. Haters are gonna hate, and they can sit on their fat asses and contemplate where they went wrong in life for another 20 years for all I give a damn. I will lap them and keep going and succeeding and just being overall better than the haters. Is Andrew Logistics a good carrier? I figured I'd ask you. I've seen him around, man. I've never worked with him personally. But I'll be perfectly blunt with you. If it's tanker, unless you're doing something like LTL, then it's going to be light years better than any dry van or a flatbed or a refrigerator for that matter. It is what it is, guys. I know I'm biased, but I've done refrigerated, I've done dry van. I didn't do flatbed. I was too fat and sick to do flatbeds, I'll be honest. But I know, I have a general idea what they make, and I know what I make, and you compare how much work you have to do to earn that paycheck. I think tanker still has the advantage. And fortunately, hopefully, some of y'all have, I know some of y'all have, but I hope more of y'all did listen earlier in the years and specialized. I know some people are real cagey about going out there and getting a hazmat endorsement, but it's well worth it, man. It's well worth it, and it does help protect your job. And as far as I'm aware, even with autonomous vehicles, I don't know if they're going to be allowed to haul hazmat, right? So if you're worried about the self-driving trucks, I'm pretty sure the politicians are going to force them to have a driver, if not outright ban it for hazmat materials. Just saying. There you go. Yeah, I mean, that's not bad. I know somebody's always going to try to one up you, Silos, but I mean, it is what it is. You can make a good living doing hazmat hauling and tanker. Well, even if you do food grade, which is non-hazmat, you can make a pretty good living. You know. My day is going fantastic, Luma. How about you? The big, beautiful bill. It is what it is, guys. It's all part of the strategery. He sent Doge in there specifically to find money to carve out of the government so he can make room for other stuff that he wanted to actually in the budget. That was the entire point of Doge. Find me some cost savings, because I know I'm going to have to add, at least in the short term, to what we got going on, because a lot of shit got fucked up. It is what it is. And the way Trump is approaching this is, it's not necessarily just cutting spending, but the true mechanism to getting us out of debt and getting our economy right is to actually grow the economy. And in some circumstances, we're going to have to spend some money to grow the economy. But it's going to take smart spending plus getting out of the way, basically, making it fertile territory for the businesses to invest the money into. Have you not seen the state of the world right now, man? Have you not seen Russia? Have you not seen China? North Korea is getting involved with Russia. After all, they're supplying munitions and manpower to Russia right now. You're kidding me, right? Tank pats more, so they are doing it cheap. There's Russians hauling gas fuel now. Well, here's the thing with a hazmat endorsement, you got to be able to pass a background check, right? And you can't bullshit the background check, it's federal. So if they're a legal worker for the USA and they can pass a background check, good on them. A lot of them can't. A lot of them can't even speak English. So it does help protect you in your job. I'm just saying. And quite frankly, the more endorsements you have, the better. Eventually, I'll get off my ass and get my passenger, but I don't, maybe towards the end of my career, I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure he has to be lying. Yeah, well, they won't last. They won't last. There's a reason why everyone's pretty well competitive. You're not going to be able to just jump into tanking and hazmat work and think you can do it on the cheap like that. For one, the insurance requirements are so much more stringent. For example, you need $5 million policy as a minimum for hazmat hauling. Didn't used to be that high, but it is that high now. And that's not a small check to stroke on a premium. So you have to charge more. Because you're hauling serious, you're not hauling cornflakes, man. You're hauling serious shit. So that's why you get paid more. We need to start anew. Well, maybe. I mean, if I had to start anew, I wouldn't start a democracy. There's too many dumbasses out here. Or I'd go back to more of what our founding fathers had in mind. Not necessarily the racial aspect of it, but I would say property owners. You have to have skin in the game to have a vote. Our system was not designed for everyone to be able to vote. People that don't have any skin in the game should not have a vote. Period. We were never designed for that. We were never an open democracy like that. We're a republic. Because what they were afraid to happen, happened. You got halfwits and midwits out there, no skin in the game. The poorest will always outnumber the rich. And they already figured out that they could vote themselves the U.S. largesse, the Treasury. They could just vote themselves all the gimme-dats. And all that did was, hyperinflation and uncontrollable spending, and it's out of control. Yeah, maybe dictatorship. I mean, maybe closer to a monarchy. You realize monarchy is actually the oldest and most effective political system and government we've had, like since humans have been walking upright. For all the faults of having a hereditary monarchy, it works. You know, and most of the time the leaders are competent. Every once in a while, you get one that's not so bright, or they're too inbred. And I may mention that about before. People make fun of people, you know, poor people from the South. They're like, oh, they're a bunch of inbreds. No, the true inbreds are the elites, because they intermarry, or they marry their sisters like the pharaohs used to do. And that's ultimately what cost the ancient Egyptians their civilization. Is all the inbreeding, because it causes too many genetic and mental problems. But there's something to be said about having an individual that's born to lead. The moment they're popped out of the womb, they're being trained in the art of statescraft. You know, they're highly educated and know their role in their country inside and out. They're highly specialized to be a leader. So there's something to be said about that. No, Gary, they don't. Well, that's not true, Feline. That's I would say people from New York City are dumber on whole than people from the South. I mean, look at AOC's district. AOC keeps getting elected. You tell me that's not a bumper crop of stupid? All right? Don't tell me about people from the South being stupid. It's people from the Northeast. Straight up. And you got more people out there, that means you got more stupid people. That's just statistical data right there. A catarchy is better, huh? What? She likes to work out, and she's swole. And she's got a loud mouth, but she's not stupid. She's sassy, but she's not a moron. It is precisely facts that do not exist, only interpretations. Right? I don't know who said that, but I mean, it seems, and it's true too, man. You could put the same data in front of two different people, have them look at the same simultaneously, and they're going to come to completely different conclusions. Massey, most of the time, is okay. I don't like him bucking the system right now, because there's not enough of a majority for people to buck the system. When you have Republicans out there having a hissy fit because they're not getting 100% of what they want, that means they're allowing the Democrats to win, which are their ideological inferiors. And that's stupid. When you have the majority and the power, you don't give it up. You hammer, 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 and get your agenda through. And you caucus with your party to get your pet projects through that you want for yourself or your district. But you don't go out there and hold everything up because you have such a thin majority that you think you can show your ass to get a few more pennies. That's how you fail as a political party. He would be my director of camps and head of my food program. I meant to ask you, Phil Rock, how are you doing with your weight loss, man? I know you were working on it. You were doing some videos. We need a purge, Phil Rack, is what we need. We need a full-on purge. That we are headed for a civil war. It's inevitable. You can't have these competing philosophies vying for power in the same territory. We don't even speak the same language anymore. I mean, you have half the population that can't even tell you what a woman is. How do you work with that? That's foundational bullshit right there. And they get violent in the streets when they don't get their way. Well, Trump showed a huge amount of restraint during his first administration because he was trying to get reelected. Now, that's not happening, so the gloves are off. So this time, when Antifa goes out there and shows her ass, come in with a billy club and start beating them motherfuckers in the streets, what we're going to do. Then we're going to take the masks off and take a little picture. Boop, boop. Here you go. Another communist son of a bitch going to jail, if he's lucky. Well, I hope so, Fuel Rack. You're making good progress, man. It's not easy. It's not easy. Yeah, I have to watch what I eat. Other than that, bad things happen. So I went up eating a lot of the same things. Like in the morning, I'll start off with like two packets of protein enhanced oatmeal with another scoop of protein. So it's almost like 50 grams of protein at about 600 calories when it's all said and done. And that's a good breakfast, man. That's a hell of a breakfast. It's a whole bowl of, whole big ass bowl of oatmeal. Cool. Yeah, I think so. He literally jumped the gun and shot a defenseless woman. Nobody else was doing that. Was he really threatened by her? Was she holding a firearm? No. She just crawled in through a window. 120-pound woman, he plugs her. U.S. veteran, for Christ's sakes. Antifa's done lots worse, and then they get shot at. I think that's where a lot of the anger comes from. Antifa held Seattle hostage. Entire neighborhoods hostage with the Chaz Chop Zone. And they got away with it. You know, they were holding and extorting the people living and, you know, working there and people that have businesses. Nothing happened to those people. They had the John Brown Gun Club out there as security. Armed security, keeping the police at bay. You had a failed rapper going around with his thug force going out there extorting businesses for protection money. This is I'm not making this shit. You can go look it up. To my knowledge, nobody got shot. Should have been. They should have been. They should have when they were street sweepers and just fucking evaporated all of them. No. Did I keep my gallbladder? Yes, I had my gallbladder. Yeah, Diddy Rack. Hold on just a sec. All right. Yeah, I got one more lap left, guys. So it's gonna be a short one. But still, yeah, it's this is a reckoning. This is judgment. This is retribution for what they have put our country through under Biden. And I have no sympathy for what's going to happen to the Democrats and their ilk. None. They allowed a guy with mashed potatoes for brains to commit a coup and steal an election. And they didn't care because they treated our political system like an NFL game. where the referees blew a call, but they didn't care as long as their team got credit for the touchdown, even though it was clearly against the rules or they didn't deserve it or whatever. Right? That's how they treated it. So when you win the next election by a large enough amount where they can't rig it, and you come back and start kicking heads in, they got nobody to blame but themselves. I can't be mad about it. You screwed the country. You olayed 20 million people to the interior of the country in 4 short years. That's a hell of a lot of people. And now these dipshits are thinking we're going to give every one of these assholes a day in court before they're yeeted out of here. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. They already said that wasn't going to happen. They're going to get rounded up, and they're going to be shipped out of here. By hook or crook, they're going. Yeah. Are most Democrats brainwashed? I think regular rank and file Democrats, I think, are generally good people. It's the progressives, the Marxists, that's a real problem. But unfortunately, they are becoming a growing minority and are taking control. I mean, they are looking to have AOC become the party leader, for Christ's sakes. She's dumber than a bag of hammers. And, I mean, you get what you get. Oh boy, here we go. Oh man, we're going back to that. But I mean, what do they have now? They got Swalwell out there, a literal traitor to the country. He was schlepping Ling Ling, a Chinese spy. He got busted for that. He also has a bit of IBS. And now he's out there eating tacos because they find the left finally came up with an acronym that people find funny. And that's what they got. You know? I mean, when Trump took power, he forced California to give the Southern Californians water again. That wasn't Newsom. Trump twisted his arm behind his back and forced Newsom to open the damn sluice gate to release the water to Southern California. Democrats don't know how to run a society. They run everything by feelings and consensus. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. I mean, they literally let the second largest city in the United States burn to the ground because they felt they needed a diversified cabal of lesbians to run all the top political systems. And they burned the city to the ground. So I hope they remember come election time on who did that. Uh-oh, did I miss one? Okay, hold on. I gotta see what this is. Oh, shit. Who is CAG's biggest? Well, it depends on what industry. CAG has several different divisions. They got fuel. Where's merchant gas with the nitrogen and stuff. Hennep is just strictly chemical, as far as I'm aware. And you know, that's CAG specialty products. So it depends what division you're talking about. But I think Hennep is a big one for chemicals because they're a larger company. Andrews would be another one. There's several, man. There's several. Quality would be another one. QC. Yep, this stop. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah. Yeah, I put a little short in there a long time ago. Yeah. Went down to Brownsville. Had the rocket right behind the truck. I thought it was pretty cool. It was a cool shot. It was a trip too because it's wide open. You got the public beach right down the street. And you got people walking back and forth, and you're sitting there trying to back up to the damn delivery point. And people just going on, driving by, taking pictures and whatnot. So I figured, what the hell, if they can do it, I can go out there and do a little short. Yeah. Well, thank you, Heather. Yeah, I've been working on my health. I need to get to the doctor to get my current weight, but I'm down about 165, 170 pounds, something like that. Yep. Did you really? I haven't kept up with her in forever, man. I don't even know if she's still on YouTube or not. And I hid my channel for a little while too. I just had too much shit going on. I didn't need distraction, so. Now a lot of that shit has calmed down because I know how to handle my shit. But I also know I got to prioritize what's important. You know, I'm not like some of these guys making, thousands of dollars a month on YouTube. So, I had to go dark for a little bit. She's an odd duck, man, because she when she was a model, she told that story about the pageant director or whatever the hell he was, and he was really into her kids. It was fucking weird. It just was. Okay. That's a lot of kittens. Yeah, see, I don't make that shit up. She also married the guy. I don't know that she's still married to him or not, but she married the guy that was jerking off over her sleeping daughter and grandkid in the living room. She woke up. He wasn't there. She saw him cranking off in the living room with her daughter sleeping on the couch with her new baby. I'm like, and this is the guy that you married because he's got six-pack abs. He's got the washboard abs. Crackheads are weird, man. They're there to be made fun of and shown as examples of what not to do in life. So even though they're failures, they still serve a purpose as an example of what not to be. So it is what it is. Oh, she is still with him? Okay. Does not surprise me. I mean, we're talking about the lady that was running a scam with her second husband, home insurance scams. I remember this. She was running scams with her second husband. They'd go to these houses after a storm, and like you got hail damage or whatever, right? They'd go in there, write an estimate, and then they would tell the homeowner, hey, we're going to charge this amount, and we're going to get most of the repair done, or we're going to do it good enough. And then when that bill comes due, when that insurance check comes in, we'll split it with you. We'll split the insurance money with you. That way, the homeowner's getting a little something too, if they choose them. Unfortunately, or karmically speaking, her being a crackhead, that's where she fell off the ladder, face planted, knocked every tooth out of her head, and then that's when she gained psychic powers, where she was yelling at her camera because Slimer was humping her camera, even though really she was just so pissed off a piece of spit landed on it and it was fuzzing out the picture because it wouldn't stay in focus. But she was literally screaming at her camera to get the ghosts out. Yeah, good times. But she legit thought she gained psychic powers when she face planted. That's how she started speaking to ghosts. It's reality's too stupid. I mean, it's just so ridiculous. It's true. Yeah. But it takes all kinds out here, right? I mean, people talk shit about me too. I guess who am I to say anything? Except I'm not a crackhead, and I don't fuck my cousin or anything. So I don't know. I guess I got that going for me. I guess, yeah, maybe she didn't pay her MCI bill or something. All the Gen Xers are like, what? MCI? I haven't heard that in 40 years. Yeah, we used to have MCI. I used to have the calling card. Had to dial it to get the free nights and weekends. 10 cents a minute for a long distance. Did you say you don't smoke crack yet? Well, yeah, I could say that. I could say ever, but it's still accurate to say yet because I haven't done it. So, nor do I plan on to. But it is what it is, man. To each their own. You're grown ass adults. I mean, you're killing yourself. You're fucking your brain up. But, whatever. Just don't vote. Yeah. They're not the same thing. They're not the same thing, but they should be, right? They sound like they should be the same thing, but they're different. All right. Well, this is a quick one, guys. I'm being summoned, so thanks for being here. And we'll do it again sometimes. Y'all take care. Heather, rest of you, glad to see you again. Take care. TC out.